And welcome back to Ponds Forge for the second session of the Swim England North East Region competition here, Open and Juniors. And the afternoon session will start with the 4x100 meters medley for men. I'll give you, there's the run through for you. Some A teams, B teams. Sometimes we can get down to C teams in these competitions. So Newcastle B, Newcastle A, City of Leeds, City of Sheffield, the N&D A team, the N&D B team, Skipton, Middlesbrough B, Rotherham Metro, and the Borough of Kirklees will be involved in the first of the events. Now we'll go to the men's 17s and over. This is the 14-16 years, by the way. Then we'll go to the 17s and overs for the second race, but the first one is the 14 to 16-year-olds. So backstroke first. And Newcastle B will start off with Matthew Scott. Newcastle A, Nick Land. City of Leeds, Daniel Ransom. Jensen Owen for City of Sheffield. Jacob Light for N&D A. N&D B have Joseph Edgar. Zach Sheriff for Skipton. Middlesbrough with Edward Redshaw. Oliver Davis Tootle. And that's the Rotherham lead-off. And Lachlan Munro for Borough of Kirklees. First 50 done. And it looks like early leaders are the N&D A team. This gets further confusing, doesn't it? But that's lane 4. Jacob Light. Clear what he was leading. I don't think he's leading anymore. So I think it's going to be... It's like Daniel Ransom's taking over in lane 2 to lead the back of the backstroke leg. So it will be the yellow cap will lead. It will go in for the first change in the lead. Second will be the N&D A team. Third will be Rotherham Metro. And fourth will be the City of Sheffield. That is their team in lane 3. So City of Leeds now with George Brooks on the breaststroke. 2 up from him. There's the N&D team with Jacob Barnett on their breaststroke leg. And 2 up from him, it's Skipton with Sean Smith. So Leeds followed by the first of the N&D team, Skipton. Sheffield a little bit further back than I expected them to be at this stage. Hyo Shi is going for them in second place on the running order. But Leeds at the moment are dominating this. In lane number 2, Matthew Just will be the next one to take over. So Butterfly on lane 3, on lane 2, leg 3, coming up for Leeds. Quite a sizable lead too over the N&D A team. Now Skipton hold on to third. They have Just from the N&D B team, who've got Alex Morton going next. For Skipton next, it's Sam Smith. And for Leeds, Ethan Williams, Matthew Just will go for them. Newcastle A have Ethan Williams on their third leg, but Leeds a very big advantage over N&D A team. Much tighter for third place though. Sheffield moving into third with Miles Kinlan. I don't think at the moment, well, having said that, maybe Leeds will be caught. As Isaac Buchan is making moves towards Matthew Just. That gap is getting smaller. It's closing with every single stroke. So Leeds holding on from the N&D A team. But it's much tighter than it was, and up in 6. It's Skipton moving back into third place with Sam Smith. So that's top 3 with 100 to go. Can anybody catch Gabriel Shepherd, who's on the anchor leg for Leeds? No, certainly William Gowler's going to try. But I think time is rapidly running out and distance is running out too. So the lead swimmer turns now. A good lead of 3 seconds or so. And Skipton doing very well with their quartet. But it looks like Leeds have, as it has looked for a while now, got this nailed. So no dodgy takeovers. Leeds are going to win this relatively comfortably. The N&D A team will be followed in by Skipton probably. Fast finishing in lane number 3, City of Sheffield, but they're not going to get to third place, so that will be the top 3. Running time is 3:58.41. Pretty quick from Leeds, and 5th going to Newcastle A.
I'm travelling today, but I've booked into this Church Army place tomorrow night. Yeah, it's like a Church Army hospital type thing. Yeah, no, I'm trying not to run yet. On sweet, so you can get breakfast. It's a brown paper bag left outside your door with a piece of fruit.
So the lineup for the 17s and overs 400 medley, or 4x100, as we tend to know it in this country. Newcastle B, Tadcaster, Leeds, N&D A team, Sheffield Leeds Uni A, Leeds Uni B, Newcastle A, Middlesbrough A, Richmond Dale. All going in this one. And the lead off for Leeds, former Sheffield swimmer, and off the back of doing a London Marathon last weekend, 2-time Commonwealth Games swimmer for England. Jay Lelliott will lead off for Leeds. Matthew Mahoney for Newcastle B. Sam Lawman for Tadcaster. William Ellis for N&D A. Ben Cross for City of Sheffield. Matthew Rooney for Leeds Uni A. Willem Costa for Leeds Uni B. Harry Nicholson for Newcastle A. Middlesbrough A with Thomas Saha. Aaron Wharton for Richmond Dale. That's the lineup. I'm expecting see lane 2 quite prominent. Lane 2 is quite prominent. But lead at the moment, it's just Jay Leonard for Leeds with William Ellis for N&D right alongside him. At the top of your picture, 2 up from the top. It's Harry Nicholson and Newcastle A going very well, but he might just get to the wall first. Very tight, very tight. Newcastle A did get there just ahead of N&D A, and then City of Leeds in 3rd place. So quite tight between all 3. This might be a much more hotly contested race than was the previous one. So Newcastle A now with Josh Denham on the second leg for them. And then DA, we've got Christian Ryan and James Robinson for Leeds. That's top three. Coming through quite quickly now to Tadcaster with Ethan Balin. Moved up into fourth place. But our leader is in lane three. And then DA, Christian Ryan on the breaststroke. And try to keep tabs with him as best he can. Top of your picture is Josh Denham of Newcastle A. That is the N&D team that just lead. Coming quite strongly towards the end, the conclusion of this one. Barnaby House Osborne of Sheffield. First time I've mentioned them in the race. Might have moved up into third or fourth. Yeah, just fourth behind Tadcaster. But we're only halfway done. But it does look already as if the N&DA team, now Thomas Maskell, it's their race to lose. The others are scrapping for second, third, and potentially fourth. Our leader has got a decent lead on the first 50 of the breaststroke. So over 2 seconds over City of Sheffield, who've got Cole Hewitt. And then City of Leeds going with Charlie Broom on their butterfly leg. But it's getting tighter, definitely getting tighter between Thomas Maskell and Cole Hewitt. Is really catching it with every stroke here. Sheffield up into second place and very nearly up to first on the turn, but it will, with 100 to go, be the N&D A team. Sheffield in second, Leeds in third place. Going for Leeds on their anchor is Ben Shelton. N&D A team, we've got Adam Strickland of Sheffield. Ben Cope is on the anchor leg, and Ben Cope has taken over. Sheffield lead with 50 meters to go. It's still very tight though between those two. Could be a good scrap to the finish here. Ben Cope on one side and Adam Strickland on the other. Strickland's holding on, but I think just got enough Ben Cope. And there's quite a decent battle going on for third. I think Middlesbrough moved up into third place. Matthew Keogh is having a good swim right at the top of your picture, but it will be Sheffield that win it. Sheffield get 3:53 for them. And sorry, it's Newcastle A at the top who get third place. Fourth, the City of Leeds. And fifth are Leeds Unis here. Newcastle A it was. Top of your picture with Angelo Gianni Contini bringing them in to third place. Right, on to the 14 to 16 year age group for the 4x200 meters freestyle relay. Rotherham Metro in 0, Newcastle B in 1, N&D B in 2, 3 is City of Leeds A, City of Sheffield in 4, Newcastle A in 5, N&D A in 6, City of Leeds B in 7, Tadcaster in 8, Grace Bradbury leading off for Rotherham, Evelyn Hallisey for Newcastle, Gwen Means for N&D B, Evangeline Stacey for Leeds A, Molly Baker for Sheffield, Elizabeth Land for Newcastle A, Emma Price for N&D A, Matilda Ashcroft for City of Leeds B, and Sophia Kelly for Tadcaster up there in lane number 8. Early leaders are the N&D A team. Emma Price is showing what she's about. That's the first 100 of her 200. Sheffield in centre with Molly Baker, probably just about in second, but it's very tight between about 4 teams there for second, third, fourth. It will though be most definitely N&DA who lead the halfway through the first leg. Watch for Molly Baker making a move now. She's certainly coming through. And also some acceleration from Newcastle A with Elizabeth Land. And not too shabby at the moment, Evangeline Stacey. So these front four pretty much pulled away from the others. Our leader still just, and only just, in 6 is the N&D A team, Emma Price from Molly Baker of Sheffield. And then the decent old scrap between Newcastle and City of Leeds A for 3rd place. And you see then a bit of a gap to the rest. But early stages yet. Only coming towards the conclusion of the first 200 of 800. And it's going to be nip and tuck between Sheffield and N&DA. And Sheffield might just get there first. They're going to. I think Sheffield will just get to the wall first. N&DA 0.16 behind. Then it's the Newcastle A team. That's the City of Leeds A team. So not much to change there apart from Sheffield just taking over at the end of 200. So who's up next? For Sheffield, it's Ava Cook. Seren Talentire for N&DA. For Leeds, Emma Wood goes second. Newcastle have got Katie Otterson on their A team and Neve Savary on their A team. So another change in the order again. Seren Talentire has taken over from Ava Cook. Still that battle between N&D A and Sheffield. And it's Leeds A with Emma Wood. In fact, that's Emma Wood in 3rd place. And then it's Neve Savary of Newcastle. So 300 mark. Second 100 here. And look, again, almost a replication of what we saw in the first leg. Sheffield just a little bit behind, and then when it comes to the second 100, Sheffield's starting to take over a little bit with Ava Cook. Who's starting to power away past Seren Talentire. And Leeds starting to get just a little bit closer potentially here too with Emma Wood. .26. So Sheffield lead by 2-3 body lengths over the N&DA team. And then rapidly finishing on her 200 here for Leeds. It's Emma Wood. This will be the halfway stage. In fact, yes, it will. Halfway stage of this 4x2 for the 14 and 16-year-olds. That's a sizable lead now open up by Sheffield. And Ava Cook has opened up, well, quick look at visibly, it's a good 5 metres, I'd say, over N&D. And don't discount Leeds because they're coming back with Chloe Cook now. Chloe Cook for Sheffield, and Leeds have got Lauren Lilly, who's on the 3rd leg for them. So that's your 1, 2, 3 at the moment. And just a little bit further back, the Leeds B team. And the Newcastle A team with Erin Jones. But now there is definitely clear water between Sheffield and the N&D A team. Gap's about the same, hasn't really changed a great deal. Leeds B are making a move with Millie Threlfall on the far side in lane number 7, but another 300 to go. Sheffield have getting on for a 6-7 metre advantage over the N&D A team. Shouting on the sidelines, trying to encourage, but Sheffield are doing what they have to do. N&D A team have got Emily Maxwell on their 3rd leg. And Leeds, the version that we're seeing closest to us, with Lauren Lilly. The Leeds B team are in 4th place, Millie Threlfall. And we go back to Erin Jones and Newcastle in 5th place, but 200 to go. maybe getting a bit smaller now between Sheffield's Chloe Cook and Emily Maxwell. Yeah, gap is nowhere near as big as it was. I think I said 7 meters. Well, it's not that now. 2, 1 and 2. This will be the last 200. So who's on the anchor leg? Eve Doherty for Sheffield. In she goes. Alice Forrest for the N&D A team. Then the 2 lead swimmers will be Holly Wilson for the A team and Sedona Reid for the B team. Yeah, because Sheffield hold on to this advantage. It looks a little bit bigger already from that changeover. Eve Doherty just has to hold off the advances of Alice Forrest. At the moment she's doing just that. Order's not changing a great deal. The gap is changing a little bit though. City of Leeds A team, Holly Wilson. And just turning there, the B team with Sedona Reid. And Newcastle with Catherine Noble going for them on the anchor leg. So it will be 100 to go when they turn this time. And looks like the quartet of Baker, Cook with a E and Cook without an E have also break the back. Now the interesting thing might now be whether Leeds A team can catch the N&D A team, because this is going to be tight for second place. I think it's going to be tight for first. I think that's pretty much a given now. It's going to be City of Sheffield, but second place, that's where the race is now. N&D A with Alice Forrest and Holly Wilson for Leeds A, and she's coming through like a train. Holly Wilson's really starting to accelerate. She's just about to take over second place. Don't think she's got enough in the tank or indeed enough room to catch Sheffield, but Leeds are up into second place and N&D A team are back in third. Very controlled and commanding performance by Sheffield, and despite all the work rate being done by Holly Wilson, she's not going to catch Eve Doherty, who's going to win. And the top 3 is not going to change a great deal. A lot of excitement about what's happening behind, but nothing really is happening behind. So Sheffield will win. City of Leeds A will get second place. N&D A will finish third. And City of Leeds B team, anchored by Sedona Reid, will finish in fourth. So last of the relays before we get into the 1500s. Here comes the 4x2 freestyle relay for the 17s and over. Only 6 teams involved in this one. Rotherham Metro will be in 2, Newcastle A will be in 3, City of Sheffield in 4, Leeds A will be in 5, Tadcaster in 6, and Middlesbrough A will be in 7. I don't have the Middlesbrough quartet for you, but I do have all the others. Amelia Osborne will lead off. There's a Johnson. It's Madison Johnson goes second for Rotherham. Lucy Headley for Newcastle. Georgia Robertson for the City of Sheffield. Kiddiest Hodgson for Leeds A. And Libby Walker for Tadcaster. So I don't have the lineup for Middlesbrough. But early stages, it's Newcastle A with Lucy Headley, who is leading. So this could be a fairly cagey affair all the way through. Everybody's got quite a decent anchor leg swimmer here who could change things. Leah Schlossen, for example, for Leeds, Candice Hall for Sheffield, Lauren Heppel for Newcastle A. So there could be a lot of changes still in this at the moment. Newcastle A are taking this race out. Lucy Headley in lane number 3. 3 lanes up from her is Tadcaster in lane 6 with Libby Walker. So at the turn, at the split, it is Newcastle A. But they only partially dropped Rotherham at this stage. Everybody else is still very much in the mix. Newcastle now getting closed down a little bit by so 3 up from her. That's Tadcaster and Libby Walker. So it's Tadcaster second, so it is Sheffield third. Steve Leeds A, but they have Kittius Hodgson on the anchor, so if they're in range of the lead, they've got a very speedy swimmer right at the end to bolster their quartet. This is Emily Headley going for Newcastle. So Sheffield got Abigail Miles. Leeds A have got Laura Thompson. It's Leah Schlossen, I should say, on the anchor for Leeds. Kittius went first, Leah Schlossen on the anchor. Abigail Parkinson for Tadcaster. It's going second. They're in the middle, by the way, so don't worry about that. They were on the list, but not starting, which is why we didn't have a quartet for them. Emily Headley opening up a decent-sized advantage here for Newcastle. It's not a winning one yet. Laura Thompson making a little bit of a move for City of Leeds A. Second, the way things are looking at the moment. Abigail Miles in third, and Abigail Parkinson's moved them up per Tadcaster. Newcastle still holding on, but may not be for much longer, because here comes Laura Thompson, who's right there with her with 50 to go. And Leeds might be on the verge of taking over. Depends on the turn. Who comes out best? She used a lot of underwater work there. Did the lead swimmer Laura Thompson's. Brought her alongside now Emily Headley. And we might see Leeds in the lead for the first time. In fact, now we do. So Newcastle into second place. Sheffield in third. And then Tadcaster in fourth place. So a little bit of a lead opening up now, and so they have got a very strong last swimmer have lead. So if they are in the lead, you'd imagine that Schlossen will be the one to just put the tin lid on it. Newcastle now have Laura Hodgson. Leeds have Isabel Goodwin. Sheffield Amelia Monaghan. Tadcaster have Neve Carroll. And for Rotherham, who are in fifth place, they've got Daisy Purchase going on this one. So Leeds, followed by Newcastle, followed by Sheffield, followed by Tadcaster. Rotherham's not trailed off too far. Daisy Purchase in lane 2. It's looking for all the world like Leeds have got what it takes to finish this off. No, Newcastle got Lauren Heppel on their anchor leg. Well, she is the other Lauren, making a little bit of an inroad. It's not an unassailable lead yet, though. So here's Leeds A from Newcastle and Sheffield, with Candice Hall to go, so they'll make a bit of ground with her, but They may have given her just a little bit too much to do to pull this one round. So next time they get to the far end, will be 200 to go. Last takeover to come. Leeds, then Newcastle A, then Sheffield, and that will be Tadcaster and Rotherham Metro. Oh, it's a bit tight now, a bit tighter than it was. And say, if you look at the respective anchor leg swimmers, Lauren Heppel up against Leah Schlossen, and they're going to be virtually side by side on this last takeover. She's going to have a bit of an advantage, about a body length advantage maybe off that takeover, half a second advantage. Then Sheffield in third place, then Tadcaster. This will be the battle. And like I say, I'd put a fair amount of money, and there's no DQ, on Leah Schlossen bringing Leeds through to the conclusion here, because she's such a powerful swimmer. And good though Lauren Heppel is. Schloss has been around for a long time. Has done a lot of things, and you always see how big that advantage is. Look at her going to her legs now, powering her way through. Just not hanging around, go right, let's get this one. And Sheffield are coming into potentially second place here. I did say watch out for Candice Hall on the anchor. And she's starting to, with every single stroke, overhaul Lauren Heppel. And it won't be long before Sheffield are in second place. Not quite there yet. They won't be on this turn, but they will be by the time they come out of the turn, potentially. And Sheffield will take over in second place. Nobody is going to catch our leader. Leah Schlossen has got massive daylight between herself. I reckon it's getting on for about 8 to 9 meters now. Sheffield have secured second place. Newcastle A will be in third. Let's see if there's a battle. There's a little bit of a battle between Tadcaster and Rotherham Metro for the last place. But the first place, I don't think, has been secured for a while now. As Leah Schlossen brings it in. Candice Hall has done a very good leg to overtake Newcastle, but it was always too big a job for her to overwhelm the leader. So in will come Leeds with Hodgson, Thompson, Goodwin, and now Schlossen to finish off for them. And Sheffield's quartet will complete in second place. Third will be our long-time leaders Newcastle, and then it'll be Tadcaster, and then it will be Rotherham Metro. So up next it'll be the Open 1500 meters freestyle. We'll have 3 heats of that, and we're bringing that to you in a few minutes. Right, first of 3 heats of the 1500 freestyle. And different age range in this, quite a bit of one actually. 15 for Jai Didi of the N&D team. Thomas Saha of Middlesbrough in the centre, and the furthest away from our camera, lane 5, Ethan Hampshire of Rotherham Metro. Now they've all got very, very similar entry times, separated by about 5 seconds actually. 18:02.37 for Thomas, 18:06.25 for Ethan Hampshire, and 18:07.13 for Jai Didi. He's 15, Thomas is 18. So I've got a fair old age spread. Let's see how they take it out. First 100. This gives us a little idea of what kind of tempo we can expect for later on. And they've taken it out in a 63.6. I would imagine that it'll calm down a little bit. That's relatively speedy. Probably down to 65 from here on in. Already trying to make a bit of a break is Jai Didi. Thomas Sahar is going to track him all the way. New Hampshire on the Metro. They've got 18.06, but remember, you want to try and keep connection with the leading pack, but there's a long way still to go. So if I'm right, they'll start to rep in about 65.66. So I'd be looking for something like a 108 here. Sorry, 208. That would be very quick, wouldn't it? 208 on the turn next time. In fact, they won't be going a bit slower than that. I might go to about 65 rhythm. It's going to be a little bit less than that. It's going to be a 69 actually. Okay. Well, they've eased off a 63 pace to a 69, which is quite a drop away. I think I'll try and get that back on target fairly quickly. So that first 100 and the last 100 tend to be quicker than the rest. There was a 6-second differential there between the first 100 and the second. So if we're working on a 69 split, we're looking at probably around about 324, 325 coming back. The other end of this 50. A race within a race started to develop. The Jai Didi closest to us in 3. Thomas Sahar and Middlesbrough, and just a little way shy of the pace is Ethan Hampshire at this stage. So again, 69, 324 is where we'll see the clock stop. And I think we might have gone a little bit quicker this time. 322. It's 67. So Jai Didi, 15 years of age, from the N&D team up there in the northeast. We'll be hoping, as indeed all three will be, to get inside 18 minutes. Two of them are definitely on course to do that. Not sure about Ethan Hampshire unless he can find a little bit more rhythm, because he's getting a little bit tailed off the back. I would say he's about 20 meters back. He does seem to be struggling a little bit today. But Jai Didi, 400, be around about 432, 433.20. Just keep an eye on that gap. 2.23 now between our leader and second place. And the N&D swimmer does seem to have a lot of energy to burn. Stroke is nice and rhythmic. A little flutter kick. Just using the arms mainly for propulsion and speed at the moment. Legs just working as an anchor. Lead is staying in 3-second range. So 432. So we're looking at maybe a 540 here. 540 for next split. Something like that. A bit outside that. 543. Splits are a bit all over the place at the moment, but the lead is not. Lead is increasing. So 4.45 between our leader and second, which does seem to be visibly increasing and improving from a Jai Didi point of view. Keep an eye on our third place swimmer, who's, I'm afraid, a fair way back. Here's just coming into your picture. The white cap, the other white cap, in third place. I think he might be in danger of being lapped in this race, the way things are looking. That's where not even halfway yet, and there's a good, I reckon, 30 meters between our leader and third place. It might just be okay, but that gap is definitely opening up. 6:53 was that check. 7:07, so that is visibly a bigger lead. Between first and third is going to be 35 meters now. I'm sure Jai Didi and his coach had plans and probably talked about what the aim was, what the target was, what they could possibly achieve, or what their swimmer could achieve today. Well, he's going to be starting to bring that personal best down a bit. 18:07 will be an historic mark for him, not the one he'll get today. If he could get into the high 17s, that'd be good. So let's see what he's doing time-wise now. 8:03 at that mark. 700. And the lead from 7 seconds is up to almost 11. So you can see how quickly he's going, and the rest are not. Well, so lead was over third place, 35 meters. It's going to be nearer 40 now. Halfway done. Halfway mark for Jai Didi. So we'll see, maybe, well, he's increasing the stroke rate a little bit, so we could put a little bit more into the second half and get an even bigger personal best than it looks like being right now. So 7 it was last time. So where are we with this one? 9:13. So that's a 66. 66 for Jai Didi. That lead. We'll get to the stage. In fact, we've got to the stage where it's not even on your screen anymore. And I think there will be very soon a whole length between our first swimmer and our third swimmer. They're going to both turn about the same time but at different ends. In fact, Didi does now and Ethan Hampshire does now. So there is 50 meters between 1 and 3 and a fair distance now between 1 and 2. I reckon there's got to be about 20 meters, 22 meters maybe between 1 and 2. So 9:13, I would expect us to get away about 10:19 maybe this time. Let's see if we can keep a 66 going. I think he's eased off again a little bit. Yeah, he has. 22. It's a weird one, that. Got up to 69 again. It was 66. Put a bit of a burst in for a 66, and then got back to a 69. Still winning this comfortably and still be well inside his personal best, but let's put a little injection of pace in to 66, and there's 69 follows. And the gap is enormous now. So much so that on our cameras we're only tracking one swimmer pretty much. You're not even going to see the second one come into the picture. not arrived yet. Here he comes. So you can see it's getting on for 30 metres between 1 and 2. So we'll start speculating now about what kind of time he might potentially do here. 10 lengths to go after this, another 500 metres to go. So we're at the 1,000 metre stage. And he's at 11:32. Yeah, so I'll make that a 70. So yeah, it has really wildly changed this race in terms of splits. A 66 and a 69 and a 70. Obviously still very young, 15, still learning how to pace this race, and well, he did inject some pace. He basically took a massive chunk out of the rest of the field, but he's going to win this comfortably. It's not quite as consistent through the race, but in terms of his distance, he's going to be back at 25, so we can work out that the lead is nearly 35 metres now. And the question is, where is he in relation to Ethan Hampshire? Passing him now, so that tells you it's exactly 50 metres. That's a 12:43. Yeah, still in that kind of 70-71 trajectory. We started with a 63.6, and then we went all through the numbers, 66s and 69s and 70s. And there'll be 350 to go when he turns this time, so he hasn't got long. Yeah, I do think there's a chance, just a chance, that he might lap Ethan Hampshire before the end of this race, because he's probably about 25 metres behind him now. It's about 75 metres between them. 12:43, so was the last split. So he stays on course of what he's been doing. It'll be around about 13:53. Yeah, just inside that. So 69 mid. And the lead is big. 13:52 he turned in. Just give you an idea what the lead is in terms of seconds. When our second place swimmer, in fact it's not even showing on the board, so I can't even tell you that. In fact, has there been a change? There's been a change in position here. I don't think that's right. I think the board's giving us some errant information, because as far as I'm aware, Thomas Sahar is still second. It's showing it the other way around on the board, but that's not correct. Jai Didi, there's no doubt about who's winning it. And the question now is, what kind of time could he potentially do? It's looking pretty good. You can see that there's the third place swimmer, and he's only about 15 metres behind him now. So another 200 to go. So we know, I think pretty much, he's going to be well inside 18 minutes. The question is, how far can he get inside 18 minutes? Thomas Sahar will also be looking to get close, if not inside his personal best. Don't think it's going to happen for Ethan Hampshire today. And so he's in grave danger. Probably not being overhauled here in terms of being lapped, but it's going to be pretty close. There will be 100 to go for our leader when he turns this time. Last 2 lengths. And he's going to be around about 16.8. Yeah, 11.79 actually is the answer. There you go. Last 100. And he is going to be in the, I reckon, 17.20 range maybe. 17.20 would be good. Oh, he's going to get lapped. I think Ethan Hampshire's going to get lapped. I did say there's a possibility of that happening. It looks like he's going to. Look, last 50, I think he's just going to get overtaken on this last 50. Yeah, so I reckon looking maybe 17.20, something like that, potentially here. Remember his entry time is 18.07, so we're looking at probably about 45-second PB. And yes, there goes Ethan being lapped by GIDD. I did say 17.20. I don't think I'm going to be too far shy of that estimate on this. Ooh, 17.19.67 for our winner. Well, that is a sizable improvement on what he'd done before. He's 15 years of age, so you expect improvements, and you do get big ones in the 1500s. So getting closer now to 17 than 18. Still a chance for Thomas Ahar to improve on his, I think. It's going to be quite tight, though. It's going to be in and around 18 minutes. I think he's going to be close to it. Yeah, 17.57. So yeah, he's gone inside 18. Well done. So 2 improvements there. Not going to be the case for Ethan Hampshire. It looked from the off that he was really struggling, and gutsy little performance to get through. Easy in a 100, 200 to finish things off, but when you know early on it's not your day, and all you want to do is get to the wall, and you've got to go up and down 29 times to do it. It's pretty tough, but he's going to come in and at least get a time. I think that would be a massive relief to him. Okay, quick check across, make sure we've got all our swimmers, and we appear to have. So I've got plenty of time to give you the run through of who they are. Alex Bowyer of Sedgefields in 0. 1 is Jacob Brown of N&D. Then a couple of lead swimmers. They are producing a lot of distance swimmers these days, both male and female. Joseph Hall and Matthew Juster in 2 and 3. George Turner of Newcastle is in 4. Then some more lead swimmers. Got Charlie Hinson on 5. 6 is Jad Idris. 7 is Matthew James, all from Leeds. Richmond Dale, Thomas Erdley in 8, and Alfie Charlton Harrogate in lane 9. Now remember, last time round we had a 63 lead-off leg, and we'll get a direct comparison with this age group. All under 15, 16 or 17 in here. So will it be quicker? I think it's going to be in and around what it was in the previous one, and almost right on the nose. 64.2. I reckon it might settle down to a slightly quicker rhythm after this, though. So last one was a little bit all over the place. 64s and 7s and 6s and 70s. This one might be a little bit more uniform. Early leader is Jacob Brown of N&D, and then in the centre of those lanes, lane number 4, it's George Turner. Top of the picture, Alfie Charlton of Harrogate. They're your top 3. In terms of the range of times here, these are all 17 mid or 17 high. George Turner of Newcastle has 17.27. As does Charlie Hinson. We go up to 17:59 for Alfie Charlton. So all of them have broken the 18-minute barrier. And there's a possibility we might see the 17-minute barrier broken here. Lane 1, Jacob Brown has just put in a 68 for that one. So that's what I think we'll probably see for the majority of this race, is 68, 67, 68s. Not much slower, but around that, and probably a burst at the end with maybe a 65, 66. But turning into a decent scrap early stages between lane 1, Jacob Brown, and lane 4, George Turner, and the far end, Alfie Charlton and Thomas Erdley are having their own little battle in 9 and 8. As I mentioned, there are 5 lead swimmers in this one. Going in lanes 3, 4, 6, 7 and 8. Leader still is Jacob Brown of N&D. So 300. 322. On that gap between him and swimmer in the centre, George Turner. George Turner, I think, just playing a waiting game, very aware that he wants somebody to make the running. He doesn't particularly want to do it himself, so allow Jacob Brown to do the donkey work early stage. So yeah, looking at a 68 potentially here would mean them turning in about 4:30. Yeah, around about 4:30. Let's see whether that's the case or whether they've slowed down just a little bit. They have slowed down a bit, actually. Yeah, back to a 70. In fact, that was nearly a 71. 4:33. Yeah, so yeah, opening 64, went 68. Now we're back into a 70 rhythm, which might suit swimmer in lane 3, Matthew Just, because all of a sudden he started to appear in the picture and decided to make a bit of a move himself. Matthew Just got up 17:35 compared to George Turner's 17:27. And it's getting quite bunched up at the top as well, isn't it? With Chad Idris, Matthew James and Thomas Erdley. In fact, that is Matthew James, Thomas Erdley and Alfie Charlton, who are battling at the top of the picture. And I reckon we've got a few changes still to come in this race. Our leader is still in lane 1. Still Jacob Brown. That's 5:44. So yeah, we're repping it around about 70 to 71. So not a great deal quicker than the previous one at this stage, which is one in 17:19, which will still represent, if they finish at 17:19, an improvement for all the swimmers in this race. Could have a new leader here. I think George Turner has just taken over. He has on that 50. But the man to watch out for is probably Matthew Just in 3, because he's again a little bit like was the case with George Turner with Jacob Brown, just holding his station and keeping a very close watch. Doesn't want to let the swimmer in lane 4 get away too much. And then you got 3 absolute side by side on the far side, James, Erdley and Charlton. I think he wants to inject some pace. I've got the feeling that think it's a little bit too slow. And that was a little bit quicker at 600. George Turner, 16 years of age from Newcastle. Entered in on 17:27.17, which is the fastest marginally in this field. Second and third is very tight between Jacob Brown and Joseph Hall. I think we'll say Matthew Justice, Joseph Hall, beg your pardon, Joseph and his entourage. I'm sure he doesn't have an entourage, but his family and friends. There are two lead swimmers in. That's the other lead swimmer, who is Joseph Hall, who is the one who's in second place. And third place now is Jacob Brown. That's an 8:04. So yeah, still on the 70s. Still on the 70s, but imagining this race is going to still change it a bit. Halfway now. Halfway stage when it gets around the wall this time. And it will be George Turner, but to watch out for Joseph Hall, just making his move. Here comes Joseph. I'd expect Matthew just to be in there, because Matthew's got a quicker time by 6 seconds, but so you can't just turn a switch and do 1500 freestyle. It works every time. This is going to be quite a good race, I think, because George Turner is not going to have this all his own way, and Joseph Hall is going to put some pressure on. Let's see if anybody else comes into the picture. The only person who is still in the picture is our early leader, Jacob Brown. 14, so again almost right on the button of a 70. Can only see one winner now. It's one of these two, though maybe Jacob Brown's going to second or third wind, but here comes the lead swimmer. Here comes Joseph Hall. 17:41.71 is his best, which is so 14 seconds slower than George Turner's. Not replicated on that screen, is it? 0.28 separating on that turn. 900 coming up. I don't know how tight he can make it. In fact, can he take over? I think he is taking over. Yeah, I think this will be the first time that we'll see Joseph Hall in the lead. So Joseph Hall will edge in front here. It's not a big lead, but it will be about 3/4 of a body length. And 9.5 between them. And the interest is still very much who's going to win spoils out of that triumvirate at the corner. Matthew James, Thomas Eardley and Alfie Charlton basically have been locked together for the majority of the race. And there seems look at them at the top of the picture, absolutely nothing between those three. They're battling for 4th, 5th and 6th. 1 and 2 are still alive. 3rd place maybe not, but 4th, 5th and 6th, they all flip over virtually together. Now, what does George Turner have left in the tank? And will he be assuming that Joseph Hall went a little bit earlier than he would have wanted to, and might have a little bit left at the back end? So, 2/3 done, 1,000 meters completed. 2.08 is the lead. 1 and 2, big gap back to Jacob Brown. And those three absolutely stuck together like glue. Joseph Hall. About 2 body lengths now between him and second place, which is George Turner. And then third. Having said third place is pretty much secured, I'm not sure it is now, because that race that's going on between the top 3 and the top of your screen, they are definitely closing in on Jacob Brown, so maybe that third place is still up for grabs. 1 and 2 still competitive, but the gap is not closing, probably opening up if anything. As if all flips over. It's just over 2 seconds before. Now it's 3.5. Yeah, I think we're going to see Matthew James, Thomas Eardley and Alfie Charlton overtake Jacob Brown fairly soon. Probably all 3 of them in quick succession. Going back to our leader. Joseph Hall, 17:41. 71 is his entry time. So looking to take a fairly big chunk out of that. Now, have they managed to overtake our third place swimmer? Not quite, and they're nearly there, look. It's only on by about a body length, but it's not going to surely wait too long for them to gobble him up and start to move into third, fourth and fifth. Quite rhythmic. Just again a flutter kick, not going to the legs fully yet, with 6 lengths to go. 1200 meters done. Gap is substantial now between 1 and 2. Brown in third place, but Thomas Eardley, Matthew James and Alfie Charlton ready to pounce. .250 remaining for our leader. 250 remaining now for our second place swimmer, George Turner. And then look a fair way back to see whether Thomas Eardley, yes he has now just claimed third place from Jacob Brown. Just moved into third. There's Eardley. Fourth is Jacob Brown. So it's only a matter of time. Now 200 to go. And yeah, good chance of just taking that time down a bit. Probably about 5 to 10 seconds, maybe not much more than that, but it should be a new PB for our winner. We can assume he's going to be our winner now. He's so far in front, Joseph Hall. And the gap just ever increasing. Also, Eardley Richmond Dale has moved emphatically into third place. Fourth is still quite a scrap. And Jad Idris is starting to make his move now. Leads contingent on the far side with him and Matthew James. It'll be 100 to go when our leader turns this time. So I reckon we're looking at somewhere in the region of a 17, 18 maybe, 17, 18, 17, 19. So that will still be a massive chunk taken out of 17.27. So it's going to be a PB for our winner. There's a full 17.41 before today. So if he can bring himself down to the 17.18s, I think is what I just suggested he might do. Then that will be a substantial improvement. Like a 23-second improvement if you could do that. So aiming for a 17.18 in my mind. Let's see what he has in his mind more to the point. So he's a person in control. Could be a little bit quicker than that, actually. He's put a really good burst in here. 17.15 potentially. Oh, 17.14. I think he'll take that. In fact, I'm sure he'll take that. 17.14.34. Terrific stuff. Now, George Turner will be right on the cusp of a PB. Just outside, in fact, by a second or so. But George Turner did a lot of hard work there in terms of setting up that race. Jad Idris moving right through at the end with 17.40. Right on the cusp of his best. And then we have a tie for fourth place. A tie for fourth place in a 1500 freestyle between Thomas Eardley and Alfie Chan. They weren't separated by much at any stage in the race, but then they actually finished with identical times. 17.41.57. And finishing off a man who obviously not quite in the form he wants to be. He's been considerably quicker than that. 17.35 is his best. That was Matthew Just, and then finishing off Alex Boyer. Again, likewise, not as quick as he would have liked to have been. So we've got one more heat to come of the 1500 freestyle. And I'll be with you shortly. So on to the third and final heat of the 1500 metres freestyle. Ralph Robson of N&D in 0, another N&D swimmer in 1. Jacob Barnett, also another. In 2, Harry Courtney. Then Max Russell from the city of Sheffield, another N&D in 4. Luke McGee. Newcastle's Josh Denholm in 5. Kurish Kodakar of Leeds in 6. Joshua Robertson of N&D in 7. Aidan Turner of Newcastle in 8. Jack Collins of City of Sheffield in lane 9. Well, both races took on a fairly similar pattern in terms of splits. Around about after a very quick opening 64 last time, he went down to 70 reps for the most part. I think this will be a little bit quicker. So we have some quicker swimmers like Luke McGee has been sub 16, and all these swimmers, barring 4, have been sub 17. So we open up with a 58. He's not going to keep that pace up. I can absolutely guarantee you he's not going to keep up 58. Because if he does, he'll be in the 14s, and I don't think he's quite capable of that yet. But well done, Luke. Nice injection of pace straight off. Let's see what he settles into. I imagine 65 will be fairly comfortable. We'll see. So get an idea. If we're looking at 2:03 when he gets the far end potentially. Already opening up quite a big advantage over Josh Denholm. That's early stages yet, but 3.04 on the first 150. That's quite a lot. I think he's a man on a mission here. Luke McGee from N&D. Well, on paper he's, 19 seconds quicker than everybody else here, so it would not surprise us if he goes on to win this fairly comprehensively, but he turns now, 2:01.39. Well, again, that's a 63. So that's 63 from McGee. Then Denholm in second place. Third is Max Russell. Fourth is Kodakar. That's top 4, but he is looking like he has some intent and a mission here. Our leader looking very much like he's aiming for a really good time. It'll be his only swim, of course, so he can only swim in this event anyway. That there's no final in this. So let's see, 3:04 potentially here. If he's going to go 63s, it'll be a 3:04. Yeah, 3:04. Okay, so we're settling into a 63 rhythm here. And a big lead, 6.54 seconds over Josh Denham in second place. Third is Max Russell. Fourth is Kurish Kodakar. This is impressive stuff from Luke. Very impressive. And of course, we do need some more long distance swimmers. Dan Jervis is doing a good job. Down below 15 again at the trials. But there's not enough depth. There's the occasional one comes through because we've got some really good open water swimmers. Toby Robinson, of course. And, high profile. It's one of them. And Hector Pardo as well. Two top men open water swimmers at the moment. Right, where are we at now with this one, Luke? Let's have a look. 4:08. Yeah, still 63-64, that kind of range. Lead is now 8.6. We've actually got to the stage now where you will not see that lead. A couple more lengths, I don't think that lead will appear on your screen because the gap will be too big. I'm in second. I think there's been some good scraps happening behind, but I think in terms of the leader, in terms of the winner of this race, it's going to be a little bit pedestrian, but I think the interesting thing is the time, to be honest. He's on a 15:59. He does 63s all the way. Then he'll be very close to that time, in fact, a little bit inside it. Especially with a burst at the end, he can get inside 15:59. So I'm looking for 5:11 here. Just a little bit outside it. But the lead, which was 8.6, is going to be more. It may not even appear on your screen. Is it going to? Yes, 10.39. We're right on the cusp of it not appearing on your screen. That's the 500 mark. So a third gone. 2/3 still to go. And lead extending still further. Happening behind is all pretty much still the same. Josh Denham in second place. One up from him in lane number 5. And the gap is now getting enormous. Josh Denham's got a fairly sizable lead over third place as well. Max Russell in third. Kodakar fourth. Okay, somewhere around about 6:15, 6:16. Yeah, just getting a little bit slower. Just a little bit. We're down to 64, 65s now. Even though that lead is going to be a substantial one. And you're going to get it on your screen. It's 11 seconds now. That's why. Just over 11 seconds between first and second. Third is Max Russell. Fourth is Kurish Kodakar. There's a bit of a gap between 4 and 5, which is Harry Courtney. Sixth place is Joshua Robinson. Aidan Turner 7th. Jack Collins 8th. That's how the order's stacking up now. So getting very much towards halfway. And he turns off that turn. Next time it will be 750. 700 turn. I think it's going to be around about 723, I guess. 723 on this turn. Oh, might be a bit quicker. Yeah, 721. That's 64. Yeah, that's improved on what we saw before. So I'll do my calculations here. 15 times 3 is 45. Yeah, it should be sub 16. If it's sub 16, he should be improving on his 15:59. And with that burst sure to come in the last 100 metres, he might be able to get well down below 15:59. That gap is astonishing. I'm just looking at visibly the gap. It's already 15 metres. 16, 17, 18. About 19 meters now between 1 and 2. Josh Denholm still in second place, not under any threat, particularly for that. Kodakar's third now. Max Russell is fourth. Kodakar's best time is 16:24. Josh Denholm's is 16:18. 8:26. Oh yeah, it's 63. Okay, yeah, he is putting some pace in now. Got down to 65, 66. Now we're up to 63. So he definitely doesn't want to slip below that if it's going to be a sub 16 swim. I'd love to get right down into the high 15s, but that'll be tough. I think we're going to get a swimmer lap soon. Jacob Barnett is going to be lapped by our winner. That's our winner. Obviously he's not there yet, but looking very much like it at this stage. So ideally we're looking for 9:29 to 9:30 here on the turn if he's going to keep going with those 63 reps. I think we've got 9:30 coming. Maybe a little bit outside. Yeah, that was a 65. Yeah, he doesn't want to slip much back off the pace of this, or else that 16-minute barrier will be hard to break. We started with a 58.5 first 100. We knew he wasn't going to keep that level up. This will be 9:50. And it'll be a 2/3 stage when it gets to the far end. I'd be quite happy to see around about 10:33, 34. Maybe 34. 10:34 will give him a chance. Give him a very good chance to be under 16 because 500 to go. In rep 63s, he'll definitely be under 16. 37. So 500 to go, 63. It's going to be very tight. Keep going that straight, but I expect him to do a flying last lap or flying last 2 lengths, so I think he'll get inside that. Others are obviously considering their personal best. Josh Denholm is still in second place, and he's 16:18. Kodakar's third, 16:24. Max Russell is fourth. Big gap between fourth and fifth at this stage. For fifth place to appear. Harry Courtney is fifth. And then sixth is Aidan Turner. Seventh, Joshua Robinson. Right, 400 to go. 400 to go. 11:42. 4 times 60. So that's 18. Can't afford to go any slower than 64s. Now I make it to go sub 16. Got to be repping 64s, and let's say he will put a bit of pace in the last one, but we are looking for 12:46 at worst here when he comes back to show he's on course for a sub 16. There we go, sub 16. He will break his personal best. 15:59.60 it's listed as. Loneliness of a long distance swimmer, especially with nobody to challenge you, which is exactly what he's got right now. He's not had a challenge basically since first 200 meters. 46. Oh, he's right on the cusp. That's another 65. That's another 65. 65s won't do it. 65s will take him potentially outside. It might just be inside. It's so tight. 65s will take him to around about 15:58, 59. I'd like a little bit built into that. And so he will certainly put in a speedy last 2 lengths, I'm sure, which will help him. But let's keep looking at that time. You can see the gap, can't you? That swimmer down the bottom, he's already lapped, by the way, so don't take that into account. That's Jacob Barnett. Top 4 has stayed exactly the same for a long time. Josh Denholm's 2nd place. Koresh Kodakar's 3rd. And Max Russell is 4th. That's not changing. What's happening behind? Okay, so now we get a really good idea. Yeah, 64s will do it. 65s will not. Right, 65s will take him over 16 minutes. So 64s are fine. With 200 to go. That lead is immense. Absolutely huge. It's getting on for 35 meters now. Lead between 1 and 2. Still the same though. Josh Denholm 2nd, Kodakar 3rd. And there will be 2 more lengths to go. So we'll know exactly what he has to do when he comes in to break 16. I think he'll break 16 now. It's going to need about a 64 or 65 to finish. 65, I think. 63. He's going to need a 63 finish. He's going to need a 63 finish to break 16 minutes. Well, first length and the first 100 meters were quick. 58.57. He is going to be so close to 16 minutes at the current rate. He's going to lap some more swimmers. But can he? Oh, it's so tight. He's got to come back in a 30.7, 30.8 to do it. Come on. It's going to be very tight. Watch that time at the bottom right-hand side of your screen. He's going to be right on it. I think he's going to miss it. I think he might potentially miss it here. Come on. It's so tight. It's very, very tight. He could just get it. Yes! By 0.21 of a second. Yeah, and that hurt. 1,500 meters designed to hurt, but he managed to get inside. He didn't get his PB though. His PB is 0.6. He got 0.79. How agonizing is that? He got inside 16, but couldn't get inside his personal best. Second, Josh Denholm, 16:25. Yeah, that's not a new best time for him. Koresh Kodakar, 16:30. That isn't for him either. 4th place will be Max Russell, 16:38. No. No, the top 4, I'm afraid, did do personal best. Luke McGee was 0.19 outside his personal best. Just that little slack off at one stage where it went down to 69. Was it 67, 68? Yeah. Just lost. It was about 200 meters where the rhythm just didn't quite click into place. And ultimately that's what made sure it wasn't a 15:57 or 15:56. But we are done. I think everybody's in, or maybe not. No, there's still one more to come in. And that is going to be swimmer in lane 1, Jacob Barnett, who I think has got 50 more to go. There's 2 more to come in. There's Ralph Robson coming in. Jacob Barnett is going to follow him in. Yeah, not for anybody actually in that race, particularly good one. Oh, Jack Collins did okay. Jack Collins went from 17:25 to 17:12, so you'll be happy with that. Aidan Turner also had an improvement, 17.13 to 17.07. So not everybody went slower. A few went a bit quicker, but the majority did not. So Jacob Barnett finishes off. That's the conclusion of the men's 1500 metres freestyle, and the end of our middle session here at Ponds Forge on day one. We will return at 5 o'clock for the finals from the heats that you saw earlier on today. So it's very quick swimming, I think, later on today, and maybe some big PBs. So join us back at Ponds Forge in Sheffield for the final session on day one. We'll be with you at 5. We'll see you then. Have a good afternoon.